Hey, what's up, everybody? You know, um, for the past couple of days, we've had a lot of talk go around the wrestling business, especially after this past Thursday night's edition of Reaction on TNA. If in case you didn't see TNA Reaction, they had a segment with the Beautiful people and the situation with Madison and everything. And if you read online, you can Google this, you can YouTube it, but basically, one of the things that Angelina and Velvet both said at the end is that they created a group that's unique for women in wrestling, and that there's been a lot of people that have been trying to be like them, a lot of people that have tried to join them, but no can do. And then Velvet comes out and says, but basically at the end, Velvet kind of calls out, kind of shoots, if you will, on LayCool, basically by saying, and those that have tried to be like us, you know exactly who you are. Get a life. Something like she said, get a life. It's not going to happen. And Angelina comes out and says at the end, and by the way, you're not cool. You're not cool. Now, I can understand a lot of people. There's a lot of fans of the Divas and the Knockouts that are talking about this, and I can understand that. I can understand, that some agree with the Beautiful people and some agree with LayCool. Well, I'm going to look at this in both factors. Now, the Beautiful people, Angelina and Velvet, do have a point, and TNA overall has a point. Even though there have been other groups that WWE's had, like PMS and Vince's Devils, and groups like that, PMS and Vince's Devils will never like the Beautiful people. The Beautiful people, their gimmick is basically, as they say, to cleanse the world one ugly person at a time. Now here's the situation with this. That was never the situation with PMS and Vince's Devil. You never saw that. Now LayCool has similarities, but again, going back to the whole Beautiful People TNA deal, they have a point. See, TNA created, along with Angelina and Velvet, the Beautiful people. They're the ones that first brought up this gimmick. They're the ones that first started doing the things that you're seeing LayCool do similarly in the WWE. But here's the thing. The Beautiful people have a right to say, hey, you're not going to be, basically, they have a right of telling LayCool, you're not going to be like us, you might as well forget it. Get a life, do something different. They have a point there. Because if TNA wanted to, if they felt like they wanted to, TNA could sue WWE over copyright infringement. They could come out and say, hey, your LayCool team is a blatant ripoff of our Beautiful people, and if you don't stop, we're going to sue you for X amount of dollars. TNA could do that if they wanted to, but apparently they're not going to. Why? Because even though fans like us, and even the Beautiful people themselves, see LayCool as a cheap knockoff of them, LayCool, let me put it to you like this, is more targeted towards the young kids. And again, this is where the WWE PG situation comes in. You see, the Beautiful people in TNA, the more adult-wise, the more targeted towards like the teens and the young men and young women kind of deal. The adolescents, the early 20s, the late teens kind of demographic. That's what they're targeted towards. Now, LayCool could be the same way in WWE if WWE was still in the TV-14 rating. But all LayCool is a PG, is a watered-down PG version of the Beautiful people. That's all LayCool is. I mean, if TNA, I can tell you this honestly, if TNA was PG in the same way WWE is, the Beautiful people as you see them now, either the faces or heels, they'd be the same way. I hate to say that. They would be the same way. But you don't see that with WWE. But you don't see that because it's 14, because their rating is TV-14. WWE is doing it because they're targeting towards the little girls. Basically what LayCool is supposed to be, they're supposed to be the Valley girls of the WWE. They're supposed to be, that kind of group of girls that, like, if you go to school and you see on television, you go into high schools or grade schools or junior highs, you see this group of girls just hanging out doing the nails and all that and talking about boys and being all, you get the idea, right? You get what I'm saying. You've seen those groups on television and even in real life. You know, where they just talk about boys, feels like, hey, you know, we're fabulous, and oh, I gotta get that, that would look so nice on you. You know, kind of deal. That's what LayCool is. They're basically a child version of the Beautiful People, but more towards the fact that they represent what kids deal with in school. Basically, a group of girls that think they're better than everybody else, think they're flawless, think they're, you know, BFFs for life. You know, you get the idea. They have to share things, talk about it's the whole situation. The Beautiful People, in a way, are like that, but they're more business driven. You see, they'll watch each other's backs, acts. They'll probably go out and have a bite together. They may talk about certain things, but they're more business-like when it comes in the ring. LayCool is not like that. LayCool is more like, ooh, you know, we gotta have the spotlight, like Tole. They're basically the Valley Girl school version of the Beautiful People in WWE. That's all they are. That's why you always see them saying, ooh, smelly, and ooh, flawless, and stuff like that. I mean, that's all they are. Yeah, they seem to be like a cheap imitation of the Beautiful People, but again, they're nothing more than a PG, watered-down version of it, targeted towards the kids. That's all they are. It's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like they are the misfits of the WWE. Now, you don't know what I'm talking about? Let me explain. Back in the 80s, Hasbro had a kind of a show that was sort of bordered between had a borderline audience of boys and girls. The show was called Gem. And the rivals to Gem and the Holograms were the Misfits. So that's basically what LayCool is. They're the WWE's version of the Misfits from Gem and the Holograms. Well, all the divas they fight against are like the Holograms. Like right now, they're facing Melina. Melina's in the role of Gem. And those that support her, like Eve and Tiffany and Kelly, the Bellas, you know, they're in the roles of the Holograms. You get what I'm saying? That's basically what they are. That's why the Beautiful People act the way they do on television. I mean, not the Beautiful, but that's why Michelle and Layla act the way they do on television. They are basically the misfits of the WWE, the WWE's version of the misfits from Gem and the Holograms. Well, the rivals, well, the people they fight against, or divas they fight against, like say currently Melina, is in the role of Gem, and those that support her are in the roles of the Holograms. But you don't see that with the Beautiful People. No, what you see with the Beautiful People is more like anime, more like the women of anime. You see, of hardcore anime. You know, the kind of action women of anime, like Ghost in the Shell's leading lady there, or the ladies in Gundam, or well, the list can go on. You get what I'm saying. They're basically those hardcore action kind of women. That's what they represent, the anime hardcore women. And that's what the Beautiful People, Angelina, Love, and Velvet represent. Here, LayCool, like I said, they represent the Barbie doll kind of stuff. And in this case, they represent the WWE's version of the Misfits from Gem and the Holograms. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, wouldn't the Beautiful People represent that more? Well, if Gem and the Holograms are more hardcore, yeah, they would. But we're talking about, you know, trying to be better and everything. You get what I'm saying? Okay. I mean, you understand what I'm saying. It's that classic kind of school bully, girl bully kind of deal, right? That's what I'm saying. Like if you watch iCarly, or something like that, they always have a girl in there that pretends to be nice, but then it's found out she's with this group of girls that are a bunch of bullies, and they think they're better than everybody else. That's what this is with LayCool. Beautiful People are not like that. Beautiful People are more like the action heroines, or more like the hardcore heroines of anime and action films. That's what the Beautiful People are. LayCool, they're the Misfits, the WWE's version of the Misfits and Gem and the Holograms, as well as the WWE's version of the Valley girls in school that bully other girls around, think they're better than everybody else. That's what they are. That's why when the Beautiful people said what they did on reaction, basically they're telling LayCool, hey, if you want to get over with your PG audience, try something different. Don't try to be a cheapened, watered down version of us. Try being something else. That, my friends, is the way I look at it. And that's why LayCool and Beautiful people, although similar, are different. And that's all I'm going to say. Tell me what you think, and I'll talk to you later.